Hello, and welcome to Financial App Hacks for Financial Nerds and Rebels. My name is Sara Stiles with Rise Consulting. Rise Consulting specializes in corporate retirement plans consulting, taxes for businesses and individuals, and financial planning for businesses and individuals. My role at Rise Consulting is a financial planner. I have a bachelor's degree in corporate financial management, a master's degree in personal financial planning, and I am a certified financial planner. Today, I'm going to be going over some foundational budgeting concepts that my clients have found useful, and I'm going to be sharing my favorite financial apps that can help you stay on track to reaching your financial goals and maybe find a little extra room in your budget. As a 401k plan consultant, I spend a lot of time helping participants prepare to transition into retirement. And when someone wants to know if they are prepared, my first question to them is always, have you created a budget? More often than not, the person has no idea what they spend per month. We cannot know if our savings is enough to live on if we actually don't know how much we need to live on. In working with individuals on developing a budget, I'm usually dealing with one of three types. We have the anti-budgeters who find budgeting to be a pain and restrictive. So they hate it, they hate talking about money, they don't want to think about it. We've got the budget nerds who lose sleep at night if they don't know where every single penny they've spent went. They're obsessed with their finances and they like to micromanage the comings and goings of their money. And then we have a house divided, where you have a financial mismatch between two partners, where one is a budget nerd, the other is an anti-budgeter. One is resisting the budget while the other one is trying to micromanage the other partner. So I recently came across this meme through my Facebook feed, and I had to snip it out as I was putting this presentation together because it made me laugh. But it says, we came in here for vinegar and light bulbs. If you look at the bottom of this Walmart receipt, they spent $171 and bought about 50 items, and I don't even see light bulbs and vinegar on that list. So if we had to speculate of what kind of personality this person had, they're probably a budget rebel or an anti-budgeter versus someone who's a budget nerd. But the reality is we live in a world where we are constantly bombarded with solicitation from people who want us to spend our money. And we live in a world of immediate gratification. So it can feel like such a daunting task to stay on track when we're trying to stick to a budget when you're caught up in the moment. The good news is we also live in a world of advanced technology, and the beauty of that is that we now have the power to hold our entire lives in the palm of our hand, and it seems like there is an app for everyone and everything. So what I'm going to go over are some different apps that may cater to whatever different personality type that you may be. So if you're a budget rebel, we're going to look for an app that keeps the process simple and we have as much on autopilot as possible, and it's got to be something that can keep your attention. If you're a budgeting nerd, we want something that's going to be pretty comprehensive and it's going to let you obsess over every detail and it's going to do all the thinking for you. And if you're a house divided, we're going to find apps that allow you to come together with your partner where you both can stay on track and be on the same page in each of your own ways. So the first app that I'll touch on is called Wally, and it's a very basic budgeting app. It is free and it's pretty simple and easy to use, but it basically is built around the envelope system, if you will, electronically, as the name implies, envelopes. So both of those two apps are kind of designed to create somewhat of an envelope system to help you segment your money and categorize it and how you spend it. One of the more popular apps that I see a lot of people love and they have somewhat of a cult following is called You Need a Budget, or they affectionately call it YNAB. But this budget is based on 4 key principles and it's highly centered around paying off debt. And this is a very comprehensive app, and because it has such a cult following and hardcore community of You Need a Budget YNABers, it's great for people with a type A personality who might be a budgeting nerd. Good Budget was an app that is rated highly for couples because it allows you to use the envelope system across both Android and iPhone. So it has a great syncing feature, which allows you to sync up your budget with your partner, and you guys can simultaneously use the app and follow your budget. Pocket Guard was another one that is pretty popular, and it's popular because it actually alerts you when you're overspending. So it allows you to go in and set specific amounts that you want to stay within for each category of your budget. And if you are not meeting your goals because you're overspending or you're not saving what you are supposed to be saving, it will kind of give you a little warning, or it will alert you that you're falling off track. Prism is a really neat app because it's one of few apps that actually allow you to pay your bills through the app. So most of these will allow you to create the budget and track it. You can track the comings and goings of your money. This one actually allows you to make payments through the app, which makes it somewhat unique. And then the most highly rated app overall for budgeting is Mint. And Mint is created by the people who created QuickBooks. But it is the most robust tool and the best overall tool to track spending, to create goals. It aggregates all of your assets in one place, so you can have a placemat where all your assets are, and you can kind of look at your entire financial dashboard. The drawback to Mint.com is if you have the free subscription version of it, then you are getting bombarded with ads, and you can bet the way that Mint makes money is because they sell your information to advertisers. So an alternate opportunity or an alternate option for you would be to use eMoney, which is something that you have access to as a customer or a plan participant under Rise Consulting. eMoney is one of the leaders in the financial planning technology space, and it's used by many financial professionals like myself. I use this tool to assist my clients with things like estate planning, tax planning, investment management, planning for college, or doing retirement income projections for clients who are getting close to retirement. It also has that aggregation feature where you can hook up your bank accounts and credit cards, and you can have a very easy way to track your spending and to categorize it. Comes in very handy at the end of the year when it's tax planning season. If you have your tax deductible expenses coded accordingly, you can print a year's worth of expenses with just the click of a button. So this is something that if you are a client of mine, either in a 401k plan that I'm managing, or if I'm doing individual planning for you, you have access to this tool for free. If you would like to receive a login for this, just email me at sarah.stiles@risebizconsultants.com, and I would just need your first and last name, personal email address, date of birth, and then we can get you set up with this technology. Creating your budget is the first step, but what can you do if you determine that you need to reduce your monthly overhead? So it's time to talk cutting expenses. I have to admit, I did not grow up with a lot of money. Our home, we did not have a lot of money in my home, and my mom definitely did some bathroom barbershop work, not much different than this, on my brother, so I had to include this picture in here. But there are ways to cut expenses without drastically cutting corners. So 2 common themes I see when I'm working with someone who's having a difficult time sticking within a budget is that they tend to overpay, and they do not take the time to shop around or put thought into how they're spending their money. Or they have buyer's remorse all the time because they're buying things on a whim or by impulse. So 2 things that you need to do are reduce expenses if you've already paid too much, but also just check in because sometimes prices go down. So when we're looking at things like cell phone rates or cable, we all know that we can call our providers and try to negotiate lower rates. So just kind of stay on top of what you're spending and making sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck, not just when you purchase it, but on an ongoing basis. So reduce your current expenses where you can. Plan ahead. Never pay full price if you can get around paying full price. When I'm shopping online, I will not purchase anything without first Googling a coupon code. I'm always trying to look on Groupon if I need an oil change or anything like that where I know it could be 3 digits expense. I'm trying to find a better deal on Groupon before I go and do that. And then stay out of your own way. Take time to shop smart and don't put yourself in situations where you know you're going to be subjected to impulse buying. And I'm looking at you, Target lady, who can't walk past the dollar bin over at Target because it's only $1 and then $50 later you've bought a bunch of tchotchkes you don't need. I have also found myself shopping late at night on the couch while I'm watching Netflix and I see something that I think I really need. I may leave it in the cart, sleep on it, and wake up the next day and decide that maybe I don't really care that much about the item. So just stay on top of what you have been doing in the past and don't fall asleep at the wheel with your current expenses. Try to avoid paying full price if you can find a way to get something cheaper. And then stay out of your own way and don't put yourself in situations where you know you're going to set yourself up to fail. So these are some of my favorite apps that I like to use for saving money. And most of your favorite places that you like to go for food or retailers are going to have some kind of an app that you can use to get coupons. So if you're a frequent shopper somewhere, I suggest you try to see if they have an app on your app store that would provide you with special offers and coupons. But one that's used quite a bit is Quick Trip. So on there you can order things in advance from the QT kitchen where you're getting super steep discounts on the food there. Same goes with the AMC app. My husband and I use that quite often. And when we go to the movie, if you order your popcorn and your drinks and your food ahead of time, you end up saving a substantial amount of money versus if you just show up and stand in the concession line. Another great one, and I did not mention it on the previous slide, but in cutting costs, one important thing to do is check up on the subscriptions that you have. We all kind of do it where we sign up for a free year of something, or we sign up for a subscription with the intention of canceling it, or we sign up for a subscription and we use something for a short amount of time and then forget we have it. So this neat app called Truebill will actually find subscriptions that you are currently not using or using, and it will actually help you cancel those subscriptions and get out of them. So the ability to have an app get you out of a subscription is worth it. I would say that's always a pain, is trying to get out of a subscription that you don't want anymore with pushy salespeople and all that. Another app I really like for saving money is Instacart. I used to go to the grocery store and I would spend about $100 and $150 every 2 weeks more than I do today, because I would find myself walking through the store, seeing items that I really don't need and didn't want before I went in there, but for whatever reason, maybe it was on sale or it's something that I had been wanting to try for a while, I threw it in the cart and left with more than I needed. Instacart is where it's kind of like the Uber of grocery shopping if you're not already using it, but you actually have someone, you go online and you can pick most of your local grocers are in there. So there's Aldi's and Costco and Price Chopper and Hy-Vee will be on there, and you can actually shop online. I also like this because I'm a busy person, and so I can do my grocery shopping on the couch while I'm watching Netflix. But I search specifically for the items that I need. I'm able to compare prices right there to where I'm not standing at a register, having an uncomfortable situation. If I'm over budget, I can get things out of my cart digitally instead of having to do it in front of people. So I really love the Instacart app. And then eBay and Amazon, and as I mentioned, Groupon. These are places that I like to go when I need to make a significant purchase. I buy all of my electronics refurbished on eBay, and I have saved myself thousands of dollars of doing it that way. On Amazon Prime, there is a feature where you're able to select new and used options. So that is something I use frequently. As an example, I recently bought a $300 exercise rowing machine for about $190 on there. So I saved myself $100 by simply buying one that someone didn't want and they returned. But perfectly fine machine, saved $100 on it by just using that new and used feature. Retail Me Not, it's kind of when I say I Google for a coupon, usually Retail Me Not is what's coming up, but it sources the internet for all of the major retailers' coupon codes and it provides them to you, so you have the ability to use coupon codes. It's very common that I find a code on there where I'm saving 20 to 25% when I'm trying to buy clothes or something for the house online. And then Target is another great app where you can scan items while you're there throughout the store just to see if they're on sale. So I typically, if I'm buying something that may be more of a higher dollar item, then I will always look on the Target app to scan my items and see if it's something that's on sale. So these are great cash savings apps. There's many, many more. These are just some of the top ones that I like to use. Would love to hear feedback from you if you have one that you like that I need to make sure that I'm aware of. So what do you do when you've cut all the corners you can, you're using the coupons, you're sticking within the budget, but you still need a little boost to help you reach your financial goal or get that debt paid off? It's time to talk about side hustling. So believe it or not, there really are apps that really will pay you. And there's a number of ways that you can get paid by using apps. The first and one of the most common ways people like to get paid on apps is to take paid surveys. So basically, large brands will hire research and development firms to help them understand how best to market to their target consumer. So apps give these consulting firms cheap and easy access to that target demographic that they're trying to learn about. The second way is to play games. So you actually can get paid to go on apps and play games. And similar to paid surveys, software developers will pay users to play their games to gauge the probability of success of that game and to work out any of the technical glitches that it might have. The third way to use apps to get paid is by doing freelance work. So there are apps that allow you to advertise your skills, whatever they may be, for free. If you have any kind of special skill, the internet is your friend because you have access to basically the entire world to be able to tell them what you're good at and try to obtain business for yourself. And then the last way, and I think it's one that we all know of, and it is one of the most obvious ways, is to use your car. So you will have apps like Uber and Postmates and Instacart where you can use your car as a delivery vehicle, or you may even be able to find an app that allows you to use your car to advertise it on it like a billboard. So there's a number of ways that you can find apps that will actually pay you just to use the app. And you can get paid and make money from the comfort of your couch in your sweatpants. So here are some of the top apps that people are using to get paid. Fiverr is a great app for freelancers where it allows you to go on and promote your skills. And then you have the ability to bid on jobs. So if I'm a user and I'm a consumer, I want to go on to Fiverr and maybe find someone to design a logo for me, for instance. I can request bids from multiple freelancers on that site. I can pick the bid that sounds the best for me. And then each freelancer on there is reviewed with every job they complete. So the higher your ratings go and your rankings go by multiple users, the higher you go to the top of the list when people are searching for something that you are skilled at. So that's a really neat one. Survey Junkie, Swagbucks, and Inbox Dollars, those are all survey apps. Swagbucks is a little bit more robust than just going on there and getting paid to take surveys because it also has that paid games feature and gives you discounts for online shopping. So if you're looking to maybe do some survey apps, Swagbucks might be a good one for you that's more all-encompassing. Skills is a gaming app, and the way you get paid on Skills is to compete against and to win against other users. So when you go on there, if you want to get paid to play games with Skills, you actually have to have skills and be able to beat other users. Avada is a coupon and rebate app, so that one is going to provide you with coupon codes for multiple retailers, which is going to theoretically drive you to go use those retailer sites and spend more money than you would have without that coupon code. Easy Shift is a secret shopper app that allows you to basically pull up a map of the area where you are, and it will give you locations where there's jobs nearby you. And what a job is basically going into a store and taking pictures of different products and displays to give whoever is hiring Easy Shift some intel on maybe what the competition is doing, or maybe just to check up on their own retail stores. And then Receipt Hog actually gives you points, and you can earn rewards and gift cards by just sending in pictures of your receipts. So no special criteria, just every receipt that you have, you could send it into Receipt Hog, and it may qualify to get you reward points, cash, and gift cards. So these are some of the top ones that are highly rated that consumers are using to make a little extra cash from the couch. Or I suppose in the store if you're using Easy Shift. Okay, so we've covered apps that can help you track expenses, cut expenses, earn a little extra spare change. Let's get into some apps that can help automate the financial planning process for you. If you're looking to make it easier to pay off debt or to save money effortlessly or without thinking about it. So moving into spare change apps, the way they work is they allow you to save money or pay down debt without even noticing. And the way they do that is through a few different methods. So you can have some spare change apps that round up your purchases. So if you go to Starbucks and you buy a coffee for $4.56, it will round that purchase up to $5, and it will shove the difference off into a different account for you. Some of them will allow you to nickel and dime yourself, and some of these apps really have the ability to study and monitor your spending habits, and they kind of know when you're willy-nilly buying that Starbucks a few times a week that it's not uncommon for you to spend $15 to $20 on coffees without noticing. So eventually they might start siphoning $15 a week out of your account and putting it aside for you to use in a savings account or to invest or apply towards debt. And then there's also spare change apps where you can set up a specific dollar amount or automate the saving or the debt pay down process through a specific dollar amount that you can designate. But automation is key for a spare change app because you basically are just going about your life and your daily business, and these apps are doing the thinking for you, and they're kind of allowing you to get out of your own way by leaving it to them to be the one with the discipline to save for your or to increase your savings or to reduce your debt. Here are some of the top spare change apps that are out today. Chime and Capital are basically all-in-one banking apps that will allow you to use either the roundup feature, or you can select a fixed amount that you want to sweep into your savings account, or you can actually have it automatically invested for you. One of my favorites is the ChangeEd app, and that is a spare change app that rounds up your purchases and uses the extra cash to pay down student loans. So that one is one of my favorites. Acorns is an investment app, and it has the roundup feature, which allows you to sweep small purchases into a savings account, and then it turns around and invests you into the stock market. Coins and Debitize. These are both apps that allow you to use the roundup feature to pay off debt payments. And Debitize is really neat if you're someone who likes to use your credit card to earn like Southwest mileage points or cash back points. This app will actually allow you to hook up your debit card to your credit card. So when you make a purchase on your credit card, it automatically takes the money out of your checking account to pay that purchase right off. And then Digit is a really neat app. It allows you to go in and prioritize what your savings goals are, whether it's to reduce debt or to increase your savings if you're saving for a trip. But this is one where it analyzes your spending habits, and it basically sweeps money out of your account in a pattern that reflects what your normal spending patterns are. So, and it will even, it has behavioral monitoring technology, which will even know when to pull back on reducing your cash flow and adding more to savings, and when to accelerate it. So that one is a really neat one if you're more adventurous and you want to really leave it in the hands of the app to manage your finances. Acorns is one in my home. We use the Change Ed app for student loans, and then we also love to use Acorns. And every year we let cash accumulate in there and we invest it and we use it for our family vacation. So there's a lot of ways that you can use these automation spare change apps to help you do things that you'd like to do in your financial life. For us, we want to be able to travel with our children and with each other without going into debt. So that's what we use our spare change apps for. So big fan of these, and they're coming out with new ones every day, but these are some of the top ones that I have found have been really useful for my clients. So that's all I want to go over today, but in closing, I just want to cover a few of the high-level concepts that I hope you were able to identify today throughout the presentation. That is, first, just to be self-aware. Take inventory of the comings and goings of your cash, and don't fall asleep at the wheel as you're managing your budget. Make it doable for you. Know yourself and make sure that your budgeting plan is a realistic plan for you and the type of personality that you have. And then leverage technology to set yourself up for success and make budgeting the most palatable experience possible. If you have any other questions about budgeting or any other financial planning question for me, please do give me a call or shoot me an email. I welcome the opportunity to visit with you. So thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in today and allowing me to share what I know about budgeting and my favorite financial apps.